right. So how did you guys meet?
Through a Craigslist ad, which actually sounds way creepier than it should be. We've talked a little bit about this. I read this article online, and basically the whole idea was that the recession's about to happen, and people are going to be investing in tangibles. They're going to be investing in gold, silver, and things that have nostalgia tied to them, like comic books. And I read that, and I'm like, that's a really good idea. So I had just gotten laid off from my job. My youngest daughter had just been born, and I read on Craigslist, someone's got 88 long boxes, and I'm like, I'm going to buy some comics. I'm going to start being a comic book dealer, because I always loved reading comic books. And I hit up this ad, and it was Jeff, and we met at this storage unit. And it was all day, and we ended up buying and loading a whole lot of long boxes, and it was super cool. And then about 4 months later, I answered another Craigslist ad, and this dude was selling some Silver Age comics, and I ended up picking up Batman 232, ended up picking up a whole lot of other really super cool stuff, and it was Jeff again. And pretty much Jeff and I have been doing a lot of comics since then.
What's interesting, Jeff, from Elite Comic Source, you were the first person I ever bought a Golden Age comic from. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and it's amazing how long I've actually known you guys and didn't even realize it.
Right?
And
Time
thinking
flies,
about
man.
that I'm the one who sold you your first Golden Age book.
You're the first
and
person.
your first 232.
My first 232.
Oh, your first 232.
As well, both of us.
Both yours.
Yeah, my first 232. My first EC Horror, first EC War was purchased at your booth, like close to a decade ago. And my first Talia 411 was purchased at your booth too.
Yeah, no, Jeff and I hooked up almost 10 years ago from comics. And yeah, absolutely. It's been almost a decade.
Whenever we talk about stuff like Golden Age, if something comes up, we have a question, we want to get some insight, or if we have a customer and they're like, we're looking for this obscure thing, both of us always go to you. It's like, we think, got to hit up Jeff.
Someone comes into the Golden Age to my shop, and I'm like, let me hit up my gold guy. And if you get a random text from me, you should just know that someone walked into my shop with Golden Age, and I'm like, not me. Let me text Jeff, you know? And that's immediately my go-to guy for Golden Age stuff.
That's exactly what I think when I see a random text from him. He's like, okay, something Golden Age is coming in, and I need to look at this.
You know it's
ASAP.
Important, right? Yeah,
I do, because it's a Golden Age book, so that's damn important to me.
Yes, you're going to have to drop everything to come in and look at whatever just walked into the shop, because you know it's good.
How long have you been in comics?
Oh, man. Comics. Well, I've always loved comics since probably was 8 years old. And I always was drawn to them by the artwork and the covers. And there was a 7-Eleven literally across the street from me. And I would go there every day, just about, and see the spinner rack that they used to have them in. And, of course, all the books are near mint plus when there's a spinner rack.
Every time.
But I didn't care at the time, right?
Sure.
And so I would go there. That's where I got introduced. And then eventually I just kind of found a local comic shop, Golden Age collectibles or comics off of Melrose in West Hollywood area, because I was born in LA. And amazing shop. Yeah. I mean, huge statues everywhere. I mean, they really did that shop well. And comics everywhere. And I started to see things on the wall like, oh my God, Iron Man 1. Are you serious? Or Spider-Man 129. You know, at like 9 years old, I was like, 10 years old, I was like, oh my God, Spider-Man 129 is so amazing.
You're like, at 9 years old, I need that. I need to figure out how to make that happen.
I did. And I remember asking my grandma was asking me about a birthday gift once. And I was like, I was at the shop there, and I'm looking up, and there was this Iron Man 1 and a Spidey 129 I saw the week prior.
Yeah.
And I came back with her, and I was like, okay, I want to get a comic book. Of course, she's like, what the heck are you talking about? You want a comic book?
Yeah.
All right, it's like your typical Jewish grandma, like, comics, what are you talking about? Put your money away. And so, I really wanted this book. And I come back a week later, 129's gone. And I was like, oh my God, I have to get an Iron Man 1. And I was like, it was supposed to be a beautiful book. I don't know. It's like 20 feet up in the air for me. But from what I knew at the time, okay, it looked nice. Purples were great. And it's a sweet cover. Iron Man 1, love that cover.
Oh, yeah.
And when I walked out of that store, I still did not have that book. Grandma would not buy that for me.
Not yet. But you'd go on to own many copies
Oh, yeah.
of Iron Man 1. You'd go on to own many copies of X-Men 1. I mean, you have one of the best walls at any show that we go to. You showed off a bunch of comics at our Rose City Comic-Con coverage, which if you haven't seen the video, you guys got to check it out. Slav killed the edit on that video. And I thought something that this podcast needs is just a freaking adrenaline shot of gold. And I'm hoping that you can bring that to our audience.
I will bring that, and I'll tell you why. Because it's not just superhero gold. because to be honest, that's probably some of the least interesting gold for me. I
Oh my
love
God,
late
okay.
40s, early 50s.
Oh, agree,
You
yeah.
give me Atomic Age, which I do believe is a strong distinction between Golden Age and Atomic Age. I mean, if you take out Atomic and have everything just gold, I mean, you probably have the largest time frame of comics because you're going to go from 1939 to like, what, 1954, 56? I mean, that's a huge span of time to have one era. So, and the difference goes from obviously a strong line of superhero influence from 39 to like 49, 48, to then a complete change of crime being your top selling books, horror, sci-fi, romance.
When we were no longer at war. Because a lot of the
right.
superhero stuff from 39 to 45, 46 was very much we're going to fight these other people and we need to be right and we're the country, blah, 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 blah. And then you kind of shift to, okay, now space exploration. Now let's go off to this stuff. Now Buck Rogers off and beyond, right?
Right.
It's very, very cool to see, yeah, there is a delineation between the two.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm trying to expose a lot of other genres that there are. And there's so much to love. I mean, once you open that door of Golden Age, because it generally is kind of a transition. You're going to go from whatever era you're starting in. Copper was probably for me. And then I went to bronze. And quickly from bronze, I feel like that leap from bronze to silver is really easy. Pretty simple. A lot of the same characters. You just move on.
15-cent covers to 12-cent covers. It's not that much of a difference, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
Just a little line there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just the characters themselves, because it's easy transition. But once you go out of that Silver Age time frame, and I'm not talking like, well, I guess Marvel's 7 or 60s Silver Age stuff. I mean, 50s Silver Age is mostly DC. So that transition from 60s to 50s is a little bit of a leap.
Right.
But once you get out of that to like the 40s, I mean, it's night and day. And it's not something I tell people to just jump into, because like, especially if you're putting money into it, because it's extremely difficult thing to just leap into. I mean, there's so much to know.
right.
And the characters aren't that familiar with. You're not that familiar with them unless you use your Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, blah blah blah. But outside of that,
You gotta
boy,
be
you
knowledgeable.
need guidance.
And that's why
do.
you're here, man.
You
That's
need the
why you're
guidance,
here.
I'm telling
Because
you.
I think our community could use some guidance. I could use some guidance.
Oh.
So I think the best way to start is we should just look at some Golden Age comics. And you happen to have a box for us to unbox.
Yeah, I just got this in from CGC. I'm not exactly sure what's in it, but this is one of the submissions that came. So
Yeah,
I've
you're
been
someone who
waiting.
has so much coming in that you're like, oh, there's a box here. This is my mail call.
Yeah,
you
this
know?
is kind of because I'll get. I mean, there'll be CGC mail calls. There'll be mail calls from other people, eBay,
Right.
Instagram, wherever you can find avenues to find books, because there's a lot.
Yep.
They're not all great. And they're not all safe. Some are scary.
Yeah.
But when you get that book in hand, it's fantastic. So
Let's
we ready?
bust into it. Yeah, let's do it.
bust in.
Let's get cracking.
All right. So I'm gonna try not to cut myself. All right.
Oh
Jeff,
my
you can
gosh,
take
I'm
the next
looking
step.
over here, Comic Fam, and I'm already getting giddy. Like this is good.
These
This
are all
is-
face
This
down,
is what it's
so-
about, guys.
All right, we'll
I
do
don't.
face down.
So first off, I don't know any of these books. Like you know what you send in, but this is the first I've seen any of this, and I'm legit seeing an ASM number 6 in front of me, so I'm getting really excited. But let's just jump into it. What do you got?
Okay, so first one, let's remove the paperwork here because that's a nice reminder of how much you spent to grade your books. First book, all right. A good one to start with. FF, number 5.
Nice.
Hell yeah,
right?
man! At a 6.0,
6-0.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah, this book actually was a 4.5. And,
Oh.
right, this was a CBCS 4.5. And it looked way too nice to be a 4.5. And some things that seemed like they could be really improved. So I had CGC spend the time to grade it.
Hell yeah,
And
man.
looks like they did a good job. I mean, 6.0, that's fantastic.
That is
That's
awesome.
And there's no Marvel chipping on this, which, in case not everyone's familiar, Marvel's paper quality at some point and blade change wasn't the best. So they had a lot of rough edges they left. And this is one of those sharp copies where there's no edge wear. So really excited for this.
Yeah.
Really stoked for this book.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
First
All right.
Doctor Doom.
Very cool. All right, so what I got over here, Russ, is an ASM number 6 graded at 8.5.
Nice.
All right,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool, man. First Lizard, love this book. Never owned one, and this is routinely low grade. Like these single-digit Spideys are so hard to find above a 6.
Yeah, and let me look at that really quick because the thing I remember about this copy is a lot of the times these number 6s, the gray here smeared quite a bit because there was so much of it that you'd find a lot of smudging. And this is one of the cleaner copies that I just don't see that in. And so that was really nice to finally get one that was as clean as this was. Super excited for the 8.5. This is beautiful. I'm really excited about that.
What do you got over there, Russ?
Very, very cool. So stepping firmly into something Bronze Age here.
Oh
9.6
my
of a 101.
Dude, what?
Right?
Are you kidding me?
That's hot. So first Morbius, Spidey with extra arms, and a 9.6 with off-white to white pages. And that's hot.
Can you?
Like-
Is your hand on fire right now, Russ?
I already
How-
have asbestos on my hands.
We have to get
just to
you
make sure there's
some-
no burning.
some,
Yeah,
like,
96101. This
cotton or
is gorgeous.
I gotta
Oh my
see
God.
that. I gotta see
Yeah,
that.
you
That's,
totally
Jeff, you can look at this later, man.
All right. So,
That
Jeff,
is
you want to grab one?
insane,
let me check
dude.
that out
There are
here.
no spine ticks on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take this from me.
Yeah, that came from Colorado collection, actually. So the paper quality is really nice out of that one.
Is that white pages?
I think it's
Off-white
off-white
to
to
white.
white.
Off-white to
Off-white,
white. Not
yeah.
bad. Not bad. Damn.
Okay.
Oh, that's hot.
This next one is another really popular book with the movie coming out. Showcase here, number 30. This is the first Aquaman, Silver Age Aquaman, really.
Yep.
And so 6.5, I'm happy with that. Hoping for a little better, but this is a killer book.
Yeah.
Super excited to have this. This has been in my collection for a long time.
Those Aquaman covers have such,
Yeah.
like the color pops so hard.
Oh, yeah.
People give him crap for that costume, but I swear, like that went into the planning because the color work just always looks so good on those covers.
Yeah, you're right with the contrast of the green pants and the orange.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh man, Russ. This was on the honorable mentions list. Boy Comics number 11 at 9.0. How does this even exist in this grade right now?
I think Jeff owns a time machine and goes back with a lot of silver dimes and buys a bunch of these Golden Age comics to be able to get this grade.
Okay, how did you find this?
Okay, so that was owned by another collector I know, and he let it go out of his personal collection. He's had it for a long time. He has a shop out in California, and it's a book I've always wanted. Boy Comics number
Look at
11.
that Iron Jaw
9,
cover,
10,
dude.
11.
I can't even
Amazing
handle that.
covers. Iron Jaw.
That's awesome.
He is a cruel and an amazing villain. If you ever have to look him up, Iron Jaw. His history is pretty crazy. But
It's an iconic cover, man.
and it's a classic cover. And it's
Yeah,
not
Charles
just like,
Biro cover. I mean, this is
right.
crazy.
Who's,
Dude, it was a
his
9.0
mo-
right there,
most
dude.
of his,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and most
shit.
of his work was known for Daredevil comics that he did because he did that for 16 years
Right.
with Lev Gleason Publications. But now this is going in my personal box. So
Good call,
this
man.
ain't going anywhere.
That's
I
good.
love this book. It has always been on.
Are you happy that? How do you feel about that break in the 9?
Well, I love that because, like I said, I bought this as a 7.0, and I bought it so excited to have a 7.0, but I took it home, and I was like, oh my God, there are some imperfections here that I feel could be improved upon, and I went ahead and pushed forward for that, and it came back a 9.0, which I believe is probably the second highest graded. So, I mean, for me to have a book that I've always wanted,
There's just
to have a
history
9.0.
sitting on this table right
Oh,
now.
yeah. And you never know what you're going to come across. There's so many books to love, especially when you go far back as the Golden Age, and there's so many eras to love that you always find something.
Love it.
That is awesome.
Stoked.
All right, so this next one,
It's in here.
we have a Prize Comics number 33 in a 6.0. It's a Dick Briefer cover, and I recently sold some Golden Age Frankenstein, which, again, he did a whole lot of that. But this is super cool because it's a bondage cover here. And, again, you got him beating up some stuff. Story on that one, Jeff?
Surprise Comics. It's already a tough title. Actually, Frankenstein's first appearance was in Prize Comics number 7.
Oh, very cool.
So super tough book. I can't seem to find one. Had a chance to buy one once, but it was like massively restored, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. But this is a tough book. I mean, in 6.0 alone, this is a tough book. This, I believe, is the second highest graded 6.0, and probably only the Mile High is the highest graded on this book.
Right.
Like so many books with the Mile High. But this had a severe spine roll too, and turned out great. So
Man,
another
6.0
book
after repairing. That's awesome, man.
yeah.
All right. I'm looking over here.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, dude. Detective 359 at 9.2. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Damn, man. How are you feeling about these grades so far?
I'm feeling really positive and absolutely over the moon on some of them. I'll be honest with you. That Showcase 30 kind of was
It's a little bit of a letdown.
yeah, a little blow to the gut, but I mean, so many highs. It's
a
ridiculous.
9.2.
But 9.2, that's great. And I've checked out prices on that book, and it's
First backer, man.
it's nuts.
Rather over 1,000. I can't even imagine what a 9.2 would actually bring at
Oh,
auction right now.
I checked out a 9.2.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks ago. It was
Yeah.
over 6.
Jesus.
You're like, what? I'm like, really?
I'm so happy you were on the podcast, my brother.
I mean, it makes
We're
no
gonna
sense
be
to me. I'm
seeing
like,
some awesome.
look, don't get me
just
wrong.
look at
It's a
this.
great book. Cool. I mean, dark cover, so maybe that's the difficulty of getting it in high grade.
I love
it.
the checkerboard of this era.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite part of the Silver Age Detective comics, Batman comics, all of those. Just the black and white checkerboard. That's why I like the all red cover of
he
the
did
Action
that
1000 so
justice,
much
man.
because
Oh, yeah.
he brought back the checkerboard for a throwback comic. Super cool.
The All Reds, man. They're
God,
the
this is
best couple in
gorgeous.
the industry. Shout out.
Super awesome.
All right, we got the last three right here.
Oh yeah.
Daredevil #1 in a 7.5.
Okay.
God, what a crappy comic. And
likes
his
Daredevil?
awful yellow suit. He looks like a coward. So no, this is stunning.
Totally
This is just really, really
That's awesome.
just
dude.
amazing.
Oh man. All right, what was your thoughts on that grade?
So that was a 6.0.
Oh.
And so that got a good bump too.
It definitely
as
got
expected.
pressed, but the press looks great. You can tell there's a little bit of color break here, but I mean, you can.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
The 7.5 in this is no slouch.
yeah, and again, that book has seen huge increases in the last, obviously, the success of the show, and
Right.
then-
Season 3 is coming out soon.
yeah, and
Right.
all the other mega first appearances have been gone up so much value.
Right.
It's just long overdue for the increase in that book's value in comparison to all the other Silver Age keys.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome.
All right, this one is more of another esoteric Golden Age book. It's called All New Comics #4. And it's just one of those tough books. Small title, small publication. You got Nazi ghouls and a girl in bondage. I mean, it's just
Just a ghoul
it's one
with
of
a
those
Nazi
cover-
The
Armband.
ghouls and
Yeah, I
everything.
mean, like-
yeah. I mean, that's what it's about, though. I mean, when you have
space guy. And
yeah, he's got a rocket pack on him, and he's there's ghouls and a woman in bondage. I mean,
Yeah,
and there's a
Nazis-
swastika on the bottom left. I mean, that's all you need.
Hey Jeff, how are we gonna sell a comic this month? How about we put a spaceman and a woman in bondage and some Nazi stuff? Oh, there's got to be a ghoul, and he's got to be attacking her.
Ah, but she's too clothed. Take off her shirt a little bit and wrap her up in some rope.
10 cents, it'll sell.
Make sure
Heck
she's
yeah.
in a red dress because that's
Yeah.
apparently very important too.
Yep.
They're missing the KKK. That would be the other part
Yeah.
of
Put that on the top.
amazing.
All right, all right. Last book. I haven't looked at it yet. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, another one. Heck yeah. ASM 101, graded at 9.4.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the one from Colorado because that has the white pages.
It's got white pages, my friend.
Yeah, I bought 2 books from that collection, and that was one of them. And another one should be coming back soon too.
This is a good,
So stay tuned for that one.
strong
cool.
spec book right now,
Oh yeah.
for sure. Like, this is an underrated character and a character we may actually see him get his own franchise eventually. So
Oh really?
I think so.
Yeah, I know he's been casted for the next movie, so that's exciting.
It's gonna have to happen. Morbius is such a popular character, and they don't bring him back often enough. And when they do, it's a 6-issue miniseries of something new. So they really need to do a show or a movie or something that focuses on him because he's so cool. You know, and you get the Twilight crowd too. You get the comic book people and the people who just like vampires.
Yeah.
I want to know from the audience, do you have any Golden Age comics? Are you excited to maybe eventually invest into some Golden Age comics? What are you interested in collecting? And now that we have Jeff part of the team, maybe if you have any questions for him, the Golden Age guru, you can put them in the comment section below. Make sure to like and subscribe. And Jeff, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm looking forward to having you on many more times.
All right, I'm excited to be here, guys. I'm anytime I can talk about Golden Age books, you guys let me know. All right.
Awesome.
And people, you got questions? I got answers. Ask them.
Love it.
Very, very cool. And as always, geek responsibly.
Enough.
Said. Thank you so much for watching the video. Shout out to all of our new subscribers. We're going up like crazy every day. We appreciate every single one of you. If you want to sign up for the mystery mail call, make sure to hit the link in the description. We're filling up quick. We got about 50 slots left for October. The deadline is the 15th. We'd love to have you join. Give me an excuse to send you some comic books.